Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, whenever this video reaches you. Hello to all my wonderful content creators, YouTubers, and everyone in general. Welcome to the Virginia Bushcrafter. This is the channel where we continue to learn and practice the skills of bushcrafting, prepping, and survival for the wilderness. So guys, go ahead, hit that like button so that YouTube will know that you like my videos. Leave a comment, share this video out, give me a hype, and subscribe if you haven't done so. So today, guys, I'm out here in the bush to enjoy Mother Nature once again. And every time that I come into the bush, I have a specified task. And I think the task today is relatively easy because I'm going to put up a flying A-frame that is more or less like a water catchment system. So I hope it turns out okay. And I'm also going to be out here practicing with my marbles bearded axe. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get set up and we're going to get on our way. All right, stay tuned. A marlin spike hitch. Make this gigantic loop, put some Mother Nature in here, and secure it. Now let's hang this 45, maybe 50-pound rucksack up. But the marlin spike hitch came loose, so you just make another one. Sometimes things will never go right the first time, but look at it as an opportunity to get more practice in. So, see that marlin spike hitch? What did I just do to make this fall out? I left too much slack in it, but it's tight now. So, let's try it again. Ta-da! There we have it. Hanging a rucksack, it's only part of bushcrafting. All right, so let's get started. All right, guys, so as we know, in the bush, most important thing besides first aid and communication is shelter. So again, I'm going to put up a A-frame flying tarp with a water catchment system. So if you noticed, I have the 10 by 10 tarp on the bush floor along with paracord that's going to be used as the ridge line. So the first thing I'm going to do is start off with that famous bowling not, I'll bring you along. All right, guys, so since I want to make this in a slanting formation, let's start off with that bowline. Take our working end around the tree. This is going to be higher than my head. I'm going to make a loop or a bite. So here is the bite. Going to fold it over in the form of a well, just get a loop here. Yeah, that was the form of a marlin spike knot. But I'm going to run the working end through that loop and just bring it together. And there we have it. So now what I'm going to do is going to be somewhat unique, because I'm going to run the ridge line through some of the tie outs. So let's take a look at that. So I have my anchored in where I want it. I'm going to take the working end. I'm going to run it through the first tie out, the second tie out or guide out, the third guide out. I'm going to skip the fourth one and go straight to the fifth and end. Okay, so it's through the first guide out, second, third, skip the fourth and the fifth. So now what I'm going to do is anchor it to this tree using a trucker's hitch. All right, going around this tree, and if you notice, this is substantially lower than the front. So put you in focus here. Gonna make a trucker's hitch, that famous loop, pull forward, and the working end goes through once and twice, and just ratchet. And I think what I did, I need to make it further up. And this is the good thing about coming out here and practicing, because nothing is going to be perfect. So what I want to do is make the trucker's hitch further back, maybe here. So that's in once and twice. And ratchet it in. Make sure. Guitar tight. And for a safety measure, I'm going to make a 4. Bring this loop through here. All right. And the rest of the cord, I'm just going to hank it up so that it is out of the way. All right, so what we have is somewhat unique. We have our trucker's hitch, much lower, and we have our bow line much higher. So the next thing is to use some prusik knots. It's always good to have some pre-made, and mine are made out of bank line, number 36 bank line. So I have 2 of them here, and let me put you in focus. I'm going to put the first one. I'm going to put the first one right here. Run it through here one more time. And a third time. And I have my prusik knot. But when you pull it, it becomes tight. Okay, so I'm going to add a second one at the other end. Okay, guys, so now I have the second prusik knot on the ridge line, and I'm going to have to run it through this loop. See if you can see this. So I'm going to run the prusik knot through this loop and run Mother Nature through the loop. I'm going to tighten that, and now I'm going to tighten the front. Okay. So this one's tight. I'm going to tighten the front a tad bit more. Okay, so as you can see how Mother Nature works here, prusik knot. And if you notice, I intentionally left this one vacant. There's no ridge line going through the 4th grommet. It's going through this one, and the very beginning. All right, guys, so the next thing that I need to do to make this A-Frame Flying Tarp Shelter with a water rain with a rain catchment system. I'm going to have to now stake out about 6 grommets. So let's do the first one. Okay, so I've made a loop. I'm going to put the loop through one of the guide outs. I'm going to put a piece of Mother Nature through the loop. Did you see how that stands? I'm going to use some more Mother Nature. I'm going to make a marlin spike hitch. Make a marlin spike hitch. And now I'm going to run Mother Nature. Tighten this up. And now I'm just going to guide this out. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is stake this down. So I'm going to go and get some tent pegs, and I will be right back. All right, guys, I'm going to take this tent peg, put it into the bush floor, and make a taut line hitch. The tent pegs that I'm using, this is the very first time, and I'm not real fond of this type, but this is what came with the tarp, so that's what I'm going to use. So that's 1, 2, 3. And now I'm going to take the very end, loop it through, I know this is very hard for you guys to see, but let's do that again, because holding this, so that's 1, 2, 3. Going to take the end, and as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and anchor the tent peg in. Just put tension. There you have it. So let me show you this. You now have, again, here's Mother Nature, marlin spike hitch, More of Mother Nature. Held together with a taut line hitch. So I'm going to do the remaining 7, and I'll bring you back before I complete all of those. All right, guys, let me show you how the shelter is coming along so far. I have completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the tie outs. As you can see, this is the first one that I did, but all of them are done the exact same way. There's a loop here, there's a marlin spike hitch, and there's a taut line hitch. And I just wrap the extra paracord around this pole. Same thing here, some of Mother Nature, a loop, marlin spike hitch, taut line hitch. So that's how this side is looking. And again, remember this one grommet or tie out is intentionally not utilized. And as you can see on this side, I've done the exact same thing. Mother Nature, a loop, Mother Nature, marlin spike hitch, taut line hitch. Mother Nature and a loop, marlin spike hitch, excess cordage wrapped around the pole, taut line hitch. Same thing here. Mother Nature, a loop, marlin spike hitch, excess cordage wrapped around the pole, taut line hitch. Now I have 2 more to go. And as you can see, this is very close to the tree, so it's not going to be a problem. But this is the other part of the rain catchment system. And on this one, this last one is going to be attached to this tree in some form or fashion in order to get the dip in the middle. So that's the progress. I'll be back. All right, guys, here is the A-Frame Flying Tarp. So let's do a walk around. First of all, it is large enough to put your tent under here if necessary, and for at least 3 bushcrafters to fit in here comfortably. Now guys, I will tell you, this is what practicing is all about, because I had to, in fact, do this twice. I did it the first time, it was okay. I tore it down and redid it, and I made it a somewhat higher this time. But here it is the second time. As you can see, this is where the rain would fall off here, and you would catch the rainwater in some type of bucket or method right in here. And again, here are all the poles. And if you notice, this tie out is not needed. I did not use it because I wanted to lift this end up somewhat, and I wanted to have this sag up here. And as you can see, this tie out here, right here, is not used. So this is, and again, here again, you can't do much about Mother Nature, but it turns out well because rain will come here and exit right here. And you just have your bucket right here for the rain. So I wanted to show this to you for a second time because putting it up the second time was much easier than the first. I apologize for the sun, but it's a very sunny day here. So guys, I have worked up an appetite, and to show you that you can have a nice campfire in here, let's do it. Campfire site right there. All right guys, I'm going to split some wood. I'm going to be using the Marbles bearded axe. I used it last week, but as I feel that it takes you more than one session to really truly become familiar with a different style of a tool. So I think it takes at least good 3 or 4 sessions. So I'm going to split some wood so that I can make a meal. That's the exciting thing, is that when you're out in the bush, you're really not going to find level ground. So that's it's good practice. I'm going to split this into kindling. One thing about an axe as opposed to a knife, that axe head is more or less like a wedge. So I think it's better than batoning using your knife. It's just a gigantic wedge splitting some wood. Should have known that had a knot in it, but it's still split. It's doing its job. We'll turn this one upside down. Excellent. Like I said, this is just kindling that I'm going to be using. Again, it's good practice, good exercise. Again, the challenge is getting wood to stand up when you don't have a chopping block. And again, using a bearded axe. Second time I've used it. No complaints. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and split this up into smaller kindling. Hey guys, I got the fire lay prepared, but it just wouldn't be proper without making some feather sticks. So let me bring you in focus. I'm just gonna make a few feather sticks, and then we're gonna light this fire. After I put on some gloves. And the knife that I'm using is a cold steel survival knife. Hopefully I won't need many of these. Since the wood is wet, all right, you get the gist. So guys, it's always important to practice your fire skills. Here I'm using a very inexpensive Scandinavian grind. It's called the Survival Edge. Has a fishing kit inside. Stick tang. So I'm going to make some more feather sticks. I'll be back when I light the fire. All right, guys, so it's time for the meal, time to get the fire started, so let's do it. Bring you in focus. Okay, ferrocerium rod, fat wood sawdust, and feather sticks are waiting. There we have fire that quick. And under the kindling it goes. All right, guys, so there goes the fire just that quick. Again, I am underneath the tarp, the A-Frame Fly Tarp, and I'm just going to prepare a meal right in front of me, basically underneath the tarp, to show you that you can do it. You can stay warm this way with the radiant heat. So once this gets down to some coals, I'll be putting the food on the fire. You can hear the wet wood drying out, but again, it's just part of firecraft, making a quick fire lay, an upside down fire lay, which will get coals very quickly. So once I do have coals, I'm going to put the pot on with some water. We're going to have some potatoes with some roasted vegetables. Stay tuned. All right, guys, here is the roasted vegetables: asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, orange pepper, red pepper. There's onion, garlic, and basically asparagus. So seasoned with lemon pepper and curry. So it's going to go on the fire. On the edge of the fire for roasting. And once this is done, I will prepare the other part of the meal. All right, guys, see you in a few. Well, I just put a skillet on the fire with water, so that once it comes to a rolling boil, we're going to have us 4 cheese real mashed potatoes. So as soon as they come to a rolling boil, the water comes to a rolling boil, we will be ready to eat. All right, guys, it is time for the meal. Mashed potatoes. With some nice red crushed peppers. Roasted vegetables in a pot, because I did not bring anything to put them in. This is always the best part of the day. Yep, the good old asparagus. Just right. Why would a leaf be near my... I guess as much as I set things around, it's not a surprise. But yeah, I love the roasted vegetables. I've heard many of us say the food tastes so much better when we're out camping. I think, as one creator said, that's because we work as hard. I actually put this shelter up twice. I put it up the first time. It was okay. It was a little low. So I did it again for practice to make it a little higher. Something that I can put a tent under this if I wanted to, which I'm thinking about doing. Oh, red pepper and asparagus. Yellow pepper. Seasoned so well. Potatoes are still hot, but I know this is what's going to fill me up. I did some work with the Marbles bearded axe. I mean, it works well. Again, an axe is just a huge wedge. That's why I will be limiting the batoning or the use of batoning on my knives, because the axe and hatchet is just much more efficient, except when you get to the very, very small kindling portion. When I got to that portion, I did use my belt knife, which is a Gerber LMF II. Gerber LMF II with serrated edges. You guys know how much I like serrated edges. This handle, this rubber handle, keeps you from getting shocked, or it would keep pilots from being shocked, and this assisted them if they had to get out of the fuselage. They would use this Gerber LMF II 4-inch blade. I did some small kindling with this today because I hadn't used it in so long, so I just decided to bring that one out. And it works well. You know, if you do your part when it comes to the cutting tools, they will do their part. And I use a cold steel knife, a Scandinavian grind, to do some feather sticks. Excuse me, but it's really good. I'm finally getting to the broccoli. But wow, the vegetables are going pretty quick. The Brussels sprout, but nothing tops the asparagus. Yeah, this shelter is something I really wanted to experiment with. And you can play it in your mind and you have everything down pat. But when you come out to do it, you find some little nuances. So I was able to get it the way I wanted it, but I did it the second time to raise the height. A 2-man tent would be wonderful under here. Just using Mother Nature. I mean, even you're protected from the rain, even if you had a tent, even if you didn't have a tent here. And I could even bring the fire in closer. Even with the twig stove, I could bring the twig stove into the shelter or underneath the shelter. So it's good to get out and just explore or experiment with different configurations. I have the next one in mind, which would be a plow point, but it won't be against a tree. It would be a tripod, more or less. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this meal. Man, these potatoes are rocking with that red pepper in there. Just boil some water and put it in, and put the potatoes in the boiling water. Doesn't get any quicker. And I even have me some nice dessert, some fudge Pop-Tarts. I'm really rocking today. But I left my apple at home. Left my apple, left my plate. But as a bushcrafter, we always find something. When the fire gets down to like it is, I think it's so beautiful. It's just coals. But anyway, guys, I'll see you once I finish eating. Fire is properly extinguished. All right, YouTubers. Hey, here's the saddest part of the day, is that I have to go. Hey, it's been a lot of fun. I got to do a lot of practice. I got to put up a A-Frame Flying Tarp. I got to take it down and put it up again. A lot of practice. Hey, got a big appetite. I was able to cook. I used my marbles axe, works well. I used a Gerber LMF II to do some wood splitting. I used a cold steel survival knife to make some feather sticks. I used an Agawa bow rail 24-inch saw just to saw some logs. So it was some good practice today. I got to do some firecraft. I'm looking forward to doing it again next week, and I hope you come along and join me. So with that, guys, hey, hit that like, comment, share this video out, and subscribe if you have not. And as always, like father and son, mother and daughter, human and nature, we're all akin in some form or fashion. Just get out in the bush and have some fun. This is the Virginia Bushcrafter signing off. Stay safe, everyone.